And good morning, everybody. Good morning, Philippines. Good evening to everybody in the US of A. Good morning, everybody in the Philippines. Good evening, everybody in the US of A or wherever you're out in the world. Today, we're having a continuation with me and Johnny Warrior. Some other people might stop by. So, how's it going, Johnny?
Oh, it's going good. How are you doing?
Great. I got some good news. I got some good news. I am in the midst of getting pre-qualified to get back to the States.
Okay, that's cool.
So house shopping.
I talked to my USAA appointed me a financial advisor
Cool.
and got some recommendations as well as to focus a few things, and we will be making that. I guess I got to open up a Roth IRA. I never had one of those. I have one of those managed fund accounts with them as well as like a CD, but I've never had a Roth IRA, and they're saying that I'm missing out on free money. So I like free money.
Yeah, I got to get back and get on top of that when I get back. Actually, guys, if you served in the military, I can say nothing ever bad about USAA.
Oh yeah, no. Hey, look, and I'm one of those product loyal guys. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I have a $50,000 premium life insurance. That's the one where you're investing, not term life insurance, but where you have a flat rate investment and then you start to earn interest on your investment. But it is an insurance. Like I pay 9,000 into the 50,000. Right.
Yeah.
And then over time, I'll get an additional like 5,000, 4,000 to 5,000. Well, I can borrow against that. I can cash it in. So it's an investment.
Yeah.
And, I've got my car insurance, my home insurance, everything through them. I don't want to sound like a USAA commercial, but they are good.
And actually, guys, if you're with USAA in the Philippines, they have a toll-free number to call them.
Yeah.
And if you call in the international line, it's 24 hours.
Yep. So that's what I've been doing today. I've been hashing out budgets and what I'm going to do, because I'm going to go do that social experiment next week for about a week or two. And I want to make sure I get everything done so that I can jump on the plane in August and get home.
I have a question for you, though.
Yeah.
Are you doing any Thunderbird outdoor stuff?
Yes. I will be doing something actually this weekend. And then the following 2 weekends, Jamie and I are going out and doing some dirt time and doing probably about 4 videos a piece, right? And then it'll be kind of broken up and put up on there over time. We'll release probably one a week for over a couple months.
Cool. Yeah. I assume you're going to the Kiamichis?
Two. Yeah, there is. Actually, do you know where Tom Snead is?
Roughly.
Okay. The very west end of the Wichita Mountains on the other side.
Okay. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me think here. Let me get my bearings real quick. It's on the edge of West Range at Fort Sill, right?
On the other side of the freeway or the state highway there. Yeah. That's the Prairie Land State Park over there.
Okay. Yeah, that's the one where the elk migrate down into the impact area on West Range.
We're going over there for an overnight because they got a primitive camp that's like real close. Because starting this Friday, I'll be back down in Lawton for the rest of the time that I'm here. So we're going to go do some of our primitive skills videos there, and it'll be cool.
Cool. Yeah, actually, I'm going to take a nap after this because tonight we're on our way to pick up Gib in the morning.
Yes, guys. If you don't know what we're trying to do, what we have is a GoFundMe for Operation Backpack that Eric's part of too. and we're raising money to buy backpacks for elementary school students to give some economic relief to keep the schools and kids in school, because as prices increase, more and more kids are falling out because the parents can't afford the supplies, the uniforms, and you know, they got to take a meal a day there because there's no such thing as school lunch. So, you know, we're trying to raise money to buy these backpacks, and what he's talking about is he's going down to Divorcia, and they're doing Divisoria, and they're doing a bulk buy. Okay, it doesn't matter where. It doesn't matter where. Let me do the pitch. Let me do the pitch. Let me do the pitch.
Okay.
We're going down to Divisoria to do a bulk buy, right? Now we got one school done. One school's done. That's 109 backpacks. And our goal was to actually do Bagabag, which was an emergency, and then we wanted to do K-Zone. We're not going to get K-Zone done this quarter. We're going to do it in January, so we're currently raising money. If you go on GoFundMe and look up Operation Backpack, $5-10, that's all we're asking for a donation. Or if you don't want to donate, spread the word and share it. Get the word out there and help us get it out so that we can help these kids and get them the things that they need to complete their education. That's the foundation of what we're going to do to break poverty over in Asia.
And guys, let you know, there's a change here in the Philippines on the university level. The president here opened up free education on a college level to state-run schools. Okay? But from a standpoint, it's like paying for when your kids are in school, it gets more expensive as they go into like the high school years. And between uniforms are like, how much are uniforms roughly?
Well, the expenses in college isn't so much tuition. The expense is the books and the projects.
Yeah, well, that too. Well, it's between $500 and $700 just for the uniforms. Then you got to pay the fees every year, and for your no fees at public high school. No fees at public high school, but there's like fees entailed when kids go to school.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but for your everyday person over here, it gets expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what's going on, guys.
Yeah. I mean, you know.
So moving into the topics.
Well, hold on. Let me explain school because I've went through it now. I'm up to a year out. 3 more semesters from college. But it gets expensive, guys. And some kids, and they require a school uniform. Some schools here have PE uniforms. So the parents, you know, if you got like 3, 4, 5 kids around the same age, it gets expensive. I said state schools. So the sergeant major's correcting me on the spot.
Mm.
So, okay, let's move.
Are you smoking?
I'm putting it out.
You can't smoke tomorrow.
I know. Dude, I have the utmost respect for your Asawa.
I know, but you're not fucking up my unborn kid with your freaking nicotine habit.
I know that. And actually, your Asawa and Mama get along with my wife really good.
Yes. All right. So
yeah, did you listen to the by the way, I got a message for him. Nobody talked about him, dude. Nobody mentioned him whatsoever. He is deluded.
Well, how about we preface it? You and I know who you're talking about. So we preface it with the Bayou Water Boy down in Davao, right? And this cat has got a channel. He was gone for quite a while, right?
Yeah. I mean, I never had any dealings with him. It was okay, hold on. I gotta drop a link, so go ahead.
You know, this guy disappeared, and now he's kind of come back. And I think what it is because Quinton Belu has been a little critical of certain individuals out there. He's all of a sudden gone and become a social warrior for anti-bully guy when in reality, the guy's so full of crap, he's a bully in himself. You know what I mean? He doesn't, he's shaking his finger and saying lies, 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 lies. He's even accusing Quinton Ballou of never being in the service, you know, because I heard that with my own ears. And all this other crap that's going on that he spews. And then he's like, see, prove it. I just proved it. And I just proved it. I just proved it. Yes. I've just proved it to you.
That's too eloquent even for him. But no, I'm going to he's delusional. Nobody said that he said any. Did you read the comment threads?
No, man, I can't hardly listen to him on the show. It's one of those. No. I know he shows up in the. I just know him by his name, okay. Right? That not by the name that he's using right now, and I know that he. I think what it is. This is honestly what I think is going on. And let me connect. And because it's entertaining when you really you could easily get mad at this guy, like you could, because he attacks you. And Quinton Ballou could get mad at this guy because he attacks him feverishly, right?
Yes.
I think the dude is just so lonely that he's trying to find some niche purpose in life. You know, I think he's realizing that he's lived a pretty pathetic life and he needs a little bit more purpose in life. So he's trying to reach out and be involved in a community because he's an outcast where he is. You know, from my understanding, the dude's like partially fucking deranged and also he's not very mobile, you know?
Yeah.
I think he's got some health issues relative to his ability to walk, let alone talk, or have any kind of, you know, really conscious thought process.
Yeah. Hey, I'm pulling up the thread, and actually, I gotta say this. I don't know what got tweaked, our good friend Mr. Tux, but that's the first time I've ever seen Mr. Tux cuss.
Yeah, well,
in English.
I don't know. That's the first time I've ever seen a video about Mr. Tux.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Why? You usually get owned by him, and then you just kind of lick your wounds and go your own way.
Yeah.
So I mean, I have no idea why the hell the guy wants to start picking a fight with him. Intellectually, Mr. Tux can take a shit and already circled them 10 times in a conversation. You know. So I'm not quite sure why he wants to start any kind of BS with him.
Then somebody else chimed in. That's a listener of Dave's too, and he put out some really good thoughts and he even how you want to call it, timestamped a video that the Odd Couple had put out. So, I mean, I can't figure the guy out. We didn't say he said it. Nobody said that he's the one that said it. So I think he's delusional. What everybody was talking about was the Odd Couple. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, you're always wrong, dude.
Okay.
Come on, Eric.
Okay. Well.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is the guy whose NCOARs used to read. I had a problem with lieutenants.
Did you?
So
really?
Yes,
that's okay.
Yes, I did.
You probably have bad gag reflex.
Oh. Okay. Well, yeah. Other than that, we dropped the link out to the other guy. He saw it, so he must be either taking a dump or switching from his phone to his computer.
All right. Moving on. Right. Because you started tapping into something here. And I think that's the community that our Bayou Waterboy is actually trying to grasp hold of.
Yeah.
Is the Odd Couple. You know, Mr. Backwoods and the shill over there are, you know, his new icon and best friends and buddies. Apparently there's some type of commonality in the way that they're viewing their personal characters. You know, generally if you lay with the dogs, you get, you know, if you're gonna lay with the dogs, you're gonna get fleas. So I'm not quite sure why the hell he'd want to do that, but
I looked at the channel. Honest to God, I looked at the channel, and everything is about Dave.
Well,
Dave.
Dave and you.
Well, till the last 2 videos or 3, then it's me and Dave.
Yeah. And the guy can't even get my name right. He calls me Johnny Walker. You know, I don't even really drink, so I kind of take a little insult with that. You know.
So yeah, I'm like, dude. I mean, he all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, wanted to interject himself in this whole situation.
That's what it is, man. I think he's just, honestly, it's almost kind of feel sorry a little bit because the dude's probably pretty lonely, you know, and doesn't have friends. And I don't even know that, you know, he probably doesn't have a very good relationship with his wife, and he's kind of stuck there all by himself. And instead of throwing peas at the wall, he needs to go on YouTube. I mean, in one of his videos, he almost self-admits that. Yeah. I've been away from YouTube for quite a while, and I came on, and I see all this bullying. Yeah, okay, whatever, man. Whatever. You know, it's not bullying because he takes out of context. About 80% of everything that he's talking about, he himself is taken out of context off of Quinton Ballou or whatever. So I mean, it's kind of asinine.
He's got what I used to tell my soldiers. He has selective hearing.
Yeah. Now this other crew, I've been kind of pondering the dynamic duo over there, right? As far as the Odd Couple, and I'm looking at the dynamics of that relationship. There was a video up last night that really kind of captured it really good, where the shill was completely drunk and he passed out, right? And then he had a couple I mean, they were clothed and they were dancing and doing whatever, and he's like, you know, really trying to get people kind of amped up on it, and he's really trying to play the boss, and this is what was funny is I was on there in the chat trying to engage him on what he said, right? And he was verbally accosting me. All right. I mean, I think everybody knows that I'm on Expat TV, right?
Okay, look at the person you're talking to now.
Oh, no, just hear it out.
I'm hearing
you know. Okay, it's Expat TV. So he's verbally accosting me in the chat room, and then basically kicks me out. Not basically, but he kicked me out. And then somebody made the comment, well, why are you bagging or why are you being critical of Johnny Warrior and Nico? He's like, oh, no. Johnny Warrior's just fine. And then I realized at that moment in time, he didn't realize that Expat TV is Johnny Warrior.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think
he had no idea that it was me. Either that or he was consciously aware of it. And, you know, I was punching a button and he was in I don't think he didn't appear that drunk. So I don't think he was in a drunken stupor. But, you know, his cognitive ability to reason is so diminished that I was punching the buttons and he wasn't realizing it. But then when somebody verbally says it and he hears himself outside of it, right? Then he's like, oh, no, Johnny Warrior and Nico's just fine. Oh. You know, it's like, no, we're not just fine, man. You know what I mean? Because you bagged us. You know, he
bagged the whole community.
Well, yeah, hence the us. That would be community. Let's just go ahead and just give that. a, you know, so, you know, here we yesterday we discussed it a little bit, you know, with fucker, you made me lose my track.
Oh, I do all the time.
Yeah. Damn it. So I think that his ability to reason through things is greatly diminished, man. You know, I mean, there was a point yesterday that I was really, you know, I was angry, man. I was
I was too, and I'll tell you why. It's been almost 14 years now. A guy I worked with after 9/11, he left and got his went to selection, got his tab, went to work. He worked down at the state area headquarters.
Yeah.
But he ended up deploying with the 20th Group out of Maryland. And he came back from his first deployment, went into work back after his leave, came back into work one day. And this is before PTSD. We're talking 03, early 04, right? And he went in his drawer of his desk, pulled out his 9mm, and did himself right there at the desk in front of everybody in the office. Wow. So that's why it's a sore subject for me. I got hired on in the artillery the same time he did, except he just took another path. I stayed in the brigade. He wanted to go to JSOC.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was before the whole, I think 03, 04. It was right. He was one of the first of a couple different SF teams that went in. It was during that major JSOC. It was during that. He got mobilized during that right after 9/11. I mean, it was like, bam, he was gone.
Well, I think one of the things that is kind of elusive on this is, you know, the first, when he started attacking Dave, and I'm talking about backwoods there, right?
Yeah.
He started attacking Dave solely based on his guilt by association. Not that Quinton Ballou was actually saying anything about him, wasn't even, you know, participating in anything. All he was doing was maintaining and managing the radio show because that's his lane, right? I heard most of those shows relative to those individuals, and he never really didn't start attacking him until he started getting attacked, you know? So here he is. He's saying this whole thing about, well, let's say he isn't lying and he didn't say anything about service members and PTSD. You know, saying, they're pussies if they got PTSD, or hell, you know, and all that stuff, right? Yeah. Yes, whatever.
Okay.
So
you talk.
By that
I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I got a latrine call.
Yeah. Wow. You got bladder issues, dude. You know, and guys, what I'm saying here, any pretense against Quinton Ballou that he's guilty by association, then how is he not guilty by association for what the shill said? Right? How is it that he isn't held accountable? You know, he's holding everybody else accountable by association, but he wants to sit there and get a free ride, you know, on a show that he participated in and he was rooting with, and he was back behind egging it on. You know, there's a double standard here, and this is another symptom of that whole concept of victimology. And that's what he wants to do. He wants to portray himself as a victim so that he can appeal to the individuals for that support that he's looking for. Who's going to buy into it? You know, I think there's a lot of people who watch these shows and is involved in it. I think that there's a majority of his base are watching him and don't buy into his rhetoric. I think a majority of his base it's one of those situations to where everybody stops to watch this train wreck. How you doing, Graham? You know, who doesn't slow down and even slower alongside the road when there's a fiery crash, right? Everybody wants to slow down and see what's going on. Everybody's secretly hoping they can see a body. Well, that's what everybody's doing with these two doofuses. You know, I don't know why that's the case. And it's Charlie Wise saying he thinks that he feels safer under Jay's umbrella. And
it's not Jay's umbrella.
Well, and I was just going to get into that, Eric, right? And, you know, I don't think there's the other part of this equation of culpability. You've got somebody in the background, you know, Winky Boy, that's over there in Europe, right, that owns this whole thing, that's egging him on, fully aware of what's going on, feeding him information, trying to help him out with the doxing and all this other stuff, right? You know, Winky Boy over there is just as guilty under the same theory that you know, Backwoods is giving as far as guilty by association, right? He's part of that trio. It goes from a duo to a trio now. And that's my opinion.
Call it a quad. Oh, actually call it a gaggle, because you got the one who claims to be a first sergeant, then you got the cuckold with the Clint Eastwood avatar.
Okay, well, I don't know who they are.
Yeah, Dave knows who they are.
And who's this claiming to be a first sergeant?
I sent you. I said he goes by Michael McFarland. He claimed he was a first sergeant in the Rakkasans, 52, retired.
First sergeant in the Army, or
Army. He retired from the Rakkasan Brigade.
Okay. I got no idea, man. You know, I mean,
well, you know the brigade I'm talking about, right?
No, I don't.
The 101st.
Okay. No, all right. So he could have at 52. I mean, I don't know that there's any evidence out there to doubt him.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, sometimes you can bear witness to an individual's engagement when people are talking about service members or brothers and sisters in the uniform, or just in character. Most first sergeants carrying themselves with a little bit of dignity. You know, they might be a little rough around the edges at time, but you know, they know how to play the political wheel, and they know what command is, and they have command presence. I would strongly be suspect of an individual that wants to be associated with that kind of pile, steamy pile, whether or not that would be inaccurate. But that, again, is just an opinion. I don't have anything to actually really doubt the man. I'm going to put up
a theory. I think that the Backwoods is trying to do a hobo business model. That's the way it seems it's going now.
You want to know something? I think that the conflict is a byproduct of what his business model is. He and if you think about it, I hate to actually admit this, but it's TMI. I'm sure there are plenty of alcoholics living retired in the Philippines. I don't understand that, Graham.
You think he's trying to say is he thinks a lot of people come here that are alcoholics and they just sit in the bar all day.
I know, but how is that? What would it? I just don't understand where. I that's fine. But here's what I think he's doing. That party lifestyle. He's trying to use the portrayal of the free, you know, carefree aspects of being a U.S. American expat in the Philippines, living the life, you know, partying, having all the women. You know, I mean, that's not my thing, but hey, if it was just that, it would be, you know, probably kind of understandable and you got to admit it is kind of successful. He is building a a fan base on it. You know, whether the dude is he is referring to Dumb and Dumber.
Okay, I am going to.
Oh yeah. Hey, what's up? What's up, Popeye? You know, look, these guys. You know, he is not putting thought into a business model, Eric. He's not. All right. But what he's trying to do is he's got enough common sense and street smarts where this guy is probably trying to put a mix in, knowing that, hey, this stuff appeals to people and people will watch it. Right. Does anybody have a count of what that video before it got taken down, the one where he's freaking throwing the hoe in that one chick?
Can we talk? We'll talk about the hoe thing because on a live stream, the one before this one where he was doing the
No, just answer the question. Do you know the final number?
I don't know.
I mean, there was a lot of views on it. I mean, I had clicked over there to see what the hubbub was, and I saw the video and the amount of people watching. I was like, oh man, I'll go back and find out what that is because there was another show going on. By the time I went over there and finally,
I think Dave put it right. I think people just watching for the implosion.
I think there's a mix of that, man. Some of it's the implosion, but I mean, some of it is just the nature of what he's portraying too.
And
look, set aside the ethical or moral part of this in the conversation. Just set that aside and think about it. You know, you got a niche of individuals that kind of behavior appeals to. You know, they're going to be drawn to it if they can live it vicariously through the screen of their computer without having any risk of actually engaging in it. Of course, he's going to appeal to that kind of population. And psychologically, you're going to do it. So, I mean, today's social media demographic, the people out there, the way society is so strong into social media because of the detachment and the low risk avenue of being able to see things vicariously through the screen of your computer.
Okay. You know, I have a question for you. Okay.
You interrupted me and I'm going to lose my train of thought again.
That's why I can never be your first sergeant.
Yeah. Okay. What's your question?
Okay. Your family knows my family knows your family, such and such. You, okay. My wife, I know for a fact my wife, and you know my wife, and my wife knows your wife.
Okay.
Do you think our wives would let us hang out with two people like that?
Oh, no. No, but that, like I prefaced everything, Eric, you've got to set the morality and the ethic aside for the sake of the conversation. All right? Okay. I mean, I think that's obvious.
Popeye to the show as he's welcome he's always welcome here. How you doing, Popeye?
I'm doing good, bro. Doing good. How about what are we exactly talking about?
We're trying to.
If Eric would shut the fuck up and let me actually finish a thought, you would actually have caught up real quick. But I can't. I get interrupted. Hey, Crazy Connor, how you doing? Go ahead.
Muted myself.
What are we talking about, JD?
Well, we started off with a little precursor to the Bayou freaking Water Boy, right? And how, and just kind of analyze why he's emerged back a little bit. You know, the assessment is that the fool is lonely, you know, isolated. Probably his wife isn't even talking to his sorry ass, and he's reaching out to a community where, you know, he can have some interaction, some kind of be able to identify our identity. Whether or not he can actually identify with it, just some kind of acceptance. And that's why I think that he's doing two things here. I think he is, you know, he fabricates a lot. About 80% of the stuff that he is saying is fabricated or hearsay, and he starts to spew the nonsense on those videos where it's like fingers on a chalkboard where it's so. This is the Southern version of John Doe, dude. I mean, it's like fingers on a chalkboard where it just grates the back of your neck. And this guy just starts bashing for no reason on Dave because he emerges one day on YouTube and goes, "Wow, I don't like them bullies. You know, it's like, what the fuck, dude? What? Say something with some kind of purpose other than the obvious aspect that your butt hurt and you've got some kind of fucking fixation on Dave and Eric. And then we, you know, the tie-in is to where he's gotten into the back end groupie as a groupie with the Dumb and Dumber, you know.
Hey, the latest is we have 24 hours to shut down.
Who does?
Riff Raff Radio.
Okay, who says that?
Dumb and Dumber.
Okay. Well, we're calling him the shill and backwoods on this one. And I think that they're missing a point. You know, see, and this is where I get really just when I start thinking that, okay, maybe the guy's not very academically smart, maybe he's a little bit street smart, and that he's probably got some sense of preservation. Things like this is where instead of trying to lay low and back up, what does he do? He tries to double and triple down. Have you noticed that?
Oh yeah, he's quadrupled down. He says he's reporting me, Dave, and Allo to the FBI and the U.S. Marshals for cyberbullying and threatening his life.
Okay, who threatened his life?
I have no idea. And he's pounding the table and yelling and screaming and saying that if anything happens to me, Dave, Allo, and Popeye will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
Okay.
The only thing that
Johnny, who spewed that before?
Oh, well, yeah. Let's not bring him in.
Known as.
Yeah. But and you're right. It's the same mode of operandi. You know, you were saying that maybe he's trying to use the same business model. But like I said, I don't think he has the foresight to look at things as, oh, well, this is a business model. You know, what I'm saying is I think what he's doing is, you know, if anything's going to happen to him, it's going to be the PMP and it's going to be BI. That's the only thing that's going to happen to the guy.
And CID, cyber crimes unit.
Well, I mean, I honestly, I don't even know that it's going to go there, dude. I think it's going to be this chick, this chick. There's going to be something that's going to, because here's the deal. Here is the deal. Look, if you do slander or libel, right, to a Philippine national, it's not like you're going to get slammed in jail. What's going to be happening is the BI is going to recall you, and you're going to have to explain it, right? And there's several course of actions, and some of those actions are you could actually have to pay them restitution, okay, for the slander. And then you're probably, if you pay restitution, you're probably going to get kicked out of the country and your extension denied, and you're going to be removed from the country. So instead,
well, that's his. Let me stop you right there. That's his biggest worry because he's yelling and screaming, "I'm not leaving PI. It's not gonna happen. You're not getting me kicked out of here." See, that's what he's really upset about.
Well, but there's the part that you missed. Winky is behind on this. There's actually 3 involved in this, man.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
All right. So the silent partner in the background that is sitting there and feeding information and a lot of the doxing and stuff like that. You know, the more focused the actually correct doxing is coming from that back end. And I think the whole armchair lawyer stuff that they're regurgitating is coming from Winky and the other guy up on the hill in Cebu. Personally, that's my opinion. But
yeah,
you know, and every turn that this stuff these threats start to go, nothing is ever done. Only one time has there ever been in all the crap in our community, our Philippine expat community, that I know of, one time that actions were actually taken, and that was with douchebag that ran.
Artist formerly known as.
And he didn't get the full reign of it because it took time to process through, and he never got the barangay summary, right? Summons and all that. And it was going down that street because the PNP officer looked right at him and said, I see you again here. You do some shit like this again, I'm arresting you. So he saw it and he bolted. But I mean, in this situation, I don't even think you can either one of them, of the odd couple, are going to have the realization that, oh shit, the gig's up. They're going to sit there and they're going to sync with it.
That's where their arrogance comes in, because even the shill even said, oh, hey, Backwoods, you just have to give them a couple thousand pesos under the table and they'll take care of it for you.
But that's a little bit ignorant.
That might have been the old administration, but not the new one.
Yeah. Well, what is it? 4 mayors down in the Batangas area have been, in the last few weeks, been assassinated down in southern Luzon, where they were suspected of drug influences. So corruption is not something that's looked upon lightly in the current administration. I'm not sure that that's a good way to.
And immigration, and at the airports, ports of call, and they're starting to rotate. All the immigration people are starting to get rotated out to different offices after a set period of time. Well, so, are they really, help me out here, Popeye, Johnny, are they really that arrogant or stupid that they think they can get away with it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm gonna have to. I don't know, man. That's actually a pretty good question. Is it arrogance or stupidity? It may actually be ignorance, right? Ignorance of the facts, not stupidity, but just being ignorant of the facts, not having situational awareness, and allowing their arrogance to really overcome their sense of, preservation, I guess. Honestly.
Well, I was just reading an article online about the Bureau of Investigation and the PNP. Young lady got assaulted by a drunk-ass Canadian, and he assaulted a trike driver also, and he actually tried to rape this young lady, this Filipina. He was finally arrested, and he was brought down in handcuffs, and the first thing out of his mouth is, you can't do nothing to me, I'm a Canadian. Second thing out of his mouth was, how much money will it cost me to make this go away? And the third thing that happened, he was put in jail and is now going to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of Philippine law. So if Baldy thinks he can pay somebody under the table, good luck. Because even I have learned in Philippines, when I worked for law enforcement, Canoes don't get away with paying Filipinos under the table.
No. Okay. No, you need to have the back end. Hold on, Eric. Okay. I want to address that. Thomas corrected me, and I want to say that because I said that, there was some mayors that were assassinated down in Batangas, and Thomas corrected me. It wasn't that they were being influenced by, one of them at least, wasn't being influenced by drugs. He was actually putting his thumb on the drug dealers, and the drug dealers retaliated, right? So that just marks the volatility of the whole situation in the Philippines.
And Corey brought it up. Corey ignorance. He laughed at the PNP taking his picture, not knowing they were profiling him. I got this question answered after that happened. I asked the person that I know, it's a family friend that dealt with it, that got stuck dealing with the hobo up here. And when they do that, okay, When they go and profile, he thinks somebody called and complained about. No, somebody put a criminal complaint in or began the process. Help me out if I get wrong here, anybody. They went there to make sure and confirm where he lives and who he is, so he doesn't try to escape.
Yeah, I could see that, you know, but
because they did the same thing to the hobo, and that information will go out once the case is going through to all blotters across the Philippines.
Yeah, but what I need to know is, did they ever find the dumpster that the hobo lived in? You know, that's the question.
He gave some address in Guadalupe, Makati.
Yeah. Well, now moving into the current situation, you know, I mean, I don't, you know, the deal, you know, Dave has an argument that when we talk about him, all we're doing is encouraging viewership or focusing on him for more increased viewership. I counter that argument with the fact that the people who view him are going to view that mess no matter what we say.
Oh, yeah,
right?
There is a segment that view that because that is their niche. Okay.
Okay, and that's what I was saying before, Popeye. Right before you were coming in, that was the argument that I was stating is that there's a segment socially, right, that is really into the idea of, you know, being a American expat in the Philippines, boozing it up and whoring it up with girls and dancing and partying and being, you know, all free and all that stuff with responsibility, right? But they can't engage in it on their own because they don't have the balls to actually leap off and do it themselves, because they may be tied to responsibility, they may be tied to what obligation. But
yeah, I heard you run through that.
Yeah, and they're just simply living vicariously through him. And I think that's what the major growth in his viewership is. I think that it's that kind of niche that's growing. I don't think it's there's only a few. It's the same Philippine expats and the same trolls that go to his channel that are just using him as a platform to complain about everybody else. If you read the rhetoric.
Yeah, I'm 100% on the money there. I've read the rhetoric in the chat. I've even actually just turned the sound off and read the chat because the sound, oh my God. It's the same thing over and over again. And I've read the chat and I see what they're saying. And actually what they're doing to him is they're driving his narrative and they're stirring him up.
Well, yeah, he doesn't have an original thought, bro. That's for sure. And you're right. They're guiding the narrative with him.
But but the more he does it, the more he, how can I put this?
Spit it out.
Violates Philippine law.
Well, no, let's go to this, man. And actually, here's what I'm saying.
And actually, I got a video clip. I'm going to say it right now. I'm going to turn him into Waste, Fraud, and Abuse hotline from last night. I got the video clip of him twerking and dancing with the bad back.
Well, you know, and that's great, but that's got to start a process that is a uphill climb with Social Security in the States. And here's the reality: is the guy, you know, number one, we don't, and I'm just being totally honest. I'm not defending anybody. Let's just take all bias out of this and just openly discuss this and the situation. We don't know anything about his medical conditions.
No, we don't. You're absolutely right.
So a back injury can come in many ways, many ways. Trust me.
Please don't go through them all.
No, I'm not going to. But, you know, that being said, we also don't know much about his background. We don't know much about what motivates him, what what his experiences are, and what how those experiences in life are influencing his reasoning skills. Is he the type of person that should have been managed, in a situation with Social Security where he's finances are managed, his lifestyles and responsibilities are managed. We don't know a lot of these facts. I could speculate, but that would be all it be is speculation. That being said, where honestly do we have definitive proof that at any point he's actually broken the law?
None.
Okay, so a lot of it is rhetoric, and again, I'm not defending him. I think the shit he does is absolutely absurd and distasteful. Especially where he's been going recently with his videos. I mean, I don't think YouTube is. If he's gonna go that way, he should go full-fledged and start uploading porn over in Pornhub and do that. But and then the second place is I am emphatically, until I get a public apology to all the community about this veterans crap, he is public enemy number one on my list. All right, both of them are. And I will say that again.
I can give you a factual insight into him. Now, you've spent time here in Florida, am I not correct?
Yeah, I was stationed there. Yeah.
Okay. We have special schools here for high schools.
You told me about that he the last chance schools. He went to a last chance school.
Can you fucking leave your mic alone so I can hear him? Thanks. So these special schools are tailored for a guy with his attitude. And you've seen that attitude on the blogs. And you've seen that behavior on the blogs. And he has actually come out and said, yeah, I'm mentally ill. And a lot of these guys and gals that get sent to these schools are, in a certain way, have a problem in the brain housing group. Okay? So these are just cursory facts that I'm giving you. And when I see what he does on his blogs and on his live stream, I roll. I with laughter. I roll. And then when I see the lie after lie after lie after lie, I mean, I know you can put a psychological term to that, JW. And I actually, in some ways, feel sorry for the guy. All right? I'm not sticking up for him. I actually, in some ways, feel sorry for the guy because you done? Because he's never given himself a fair chance or anything like that. And
well, you're right, and you kind of hit that a little bit in the fact that I'm debating because you know what, I'm sitting here as you're talking. You know what I'm going to do? Because I want everybody to see that this is me that is talking, and I don't hide behind anything because that's the first thing that I'm going to get blamed of is that I
no, you won't. Everybody's seen your face.
Yeah. So
he does. Hey, Popeye, he does have supple nipples.
It's succulent, supple nipples.
All right.
Can I chime in?
Hold on. Let him finish his thought, man. Okay. Just stay away from the mic. Quit breathing heavy. Quit smoking. Okay.
I think what we're facing here is with somebody that's more of a creature of habit. When you like Teen Challenge, that's a lot of the organization that you're talking about. We have in Oklahoma, we have a challenge. It's a Thunderbird challenge where these guys are collected out of they get a GED and then they get the option to enlist in the National Guard in Oklahoma. And that's that Thunderbird Challenge program. or the Thunderbird schools. It's like a boys' ranch, and they got one for girls too. But a lot of these guys get picked up, and what they're doing is they're working on an emotional response and a habit that's formed based on the environment in which they were brought up in, or that they interacted with, or where a lot of these tragedies and this conflict has occurred in their life. And what we trying to do in some of those situations is, give them a different avenue to, of responsibility, using cognitive thought process and reasoning rather than emotional response in order to work through things. If you watch him and the way he talks and interacts in his vlogs, you're getting two emotional responses. There's not really cognitive thought response. It's emotional response. At one time, he's trying to be this nice, generous, portraying himself as nice and generous, and he genuinely wants that. But then his reactionary, when he gets his button pushed, or his immediate response is to go off the deep end. So do you remember those individuals that you worked with in the Navy that, they, no matter what you do, they're going to fuck it up?
Yeah, the special case, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, no matter what you do, and you want them to succeed so bad, you'll do anything you can. You'll stack it for them. You'll give them, you'll fat cran it for them. You'll freaking, get them dressed in the morning and pat them on the ass and say, "Go get it, Tiger," and they're still going to fuck it up.
Yeah.
All right. That's what we're dealing with. It's the same thing, and you can't even say he's got street smarts. At the beginning, I was thinking he did. At least he was okay. Maybe the guy's not book smart, right? But at least he's got some street skills, right? Some street sense. Well, he's got no sense of preservation. None. All right? His whole thing is that he wants to just, like you said, quadruple down and make it a bigger issue and make it a bigger cause and effect.
Yeah, and then he has agitators all behind that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the really sad part about it, because I have a video of him on the street. He's using his phone, and he is replying to when I put up the rules of SSD and SSDI, and he got really upset. And he says, "You know what, Popeye? Why don't you come here? I'll hit you with a brick. And you just don't know. I'm mentally unstable." And he was quite dead serious. So,
okay, can I chime in and get in the question? Because I know, Popeye, you've been in the Philippines for a long. You were stationed.
All right,
for a
I
long
don't
time.
need a ton of prefaces. Okay. Just ask the question. This
is coming from my wife. My wife made this observation. She's been following his videos since the whole 100K thing. She says she calls The Odd Couple. They have what she calls big-headed Kano syndrome. There are zeros in their home country, and they come here and they want to be the 10.
Yeah, we've pretty much established that. So what's your question?
No, actually, that's a simplified way of putting it, bro. I pontificated all this crap, and that's, in essence, that's a pretty good way of putting it.
Yeah, well, I comprehended what you were saying there, JW.
Oh, I know, but I'm kind of impressed.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, but this guy, he's just going to keep rolling, and even on our end, there are guys out there that are sticking the needle in. And just to see him spin up. And the sad part about it, he doesn't realize it.
Go ahead. Sorry, and he doesn't realize that it's not Kanos doing it also.
Yeah, no, there's the lamb and everything's in there trying to
and let me get back in here before I forget. And the arrogance of him, well, both of them really. I have a golden rule here. I learned this from somebody in Kuwait before I got married. They crossed the line. You don't mess with a Filipino because of family. I want to know what was behind his thinking, saying, leave your daughter or me, setting that, crossing that line there.
There's no way that can be answered, bro.
It really can. There's been guys like this throughout history. What
is the answer? What is the correct answer, other than the fact that it's obviously a state of mind? What is the motivating factor behind it?
The motivating factor behind it, it's all about me, myself, and I don't want the responsibilities that you have. I just want you, and you are for me, and that's it.
And that's a correct assessment. That's a superficial assessment, but that's a correct assessment. I mean, my point is that there's no way we could know or even understand or comprehend what has made him that, why he's that. And an observation that I'm pondering this the other night, and I'm thinking, what we're seeing is like a real life Hunger Games, dude, because Eric actually did a good job kind of assessing it, right? He has all these external influences that are poking him and driving him. And you said how they're driving the narrative, Popeye. It's just like that movie Hunger Games, how all people could purchase to influence the outcome of whatever's going to happen. It's the same damn thing. It's the same concept. It's
and a lot of people get off on that shit.
Yeah. It's power, man. It's power.
Yeah.
So what you're trying to say is he gets his endorphin, and if I pronounce it right, he gets a rush of endorphins from controlling his girlfriends.
No. The people, his audience is what it's like this little vicious cycle. All right. He Backwoods needs to have some sense of control in his life, right? That's just male mentality. We have to control something. Generally, what we try to do is we try to control things through being responsible and through responsible action, influencing our careers, our community, stuff like that. That's how we generally bring control to our lives. That's a healthy way of doing it. What he's doing is he's trying to use dominance over a relationship to feed that sense of control. Then you back that up with the fact that you have an audience that's getting their rocks off, just like Popeye said, getting their rocks off, influencing him and driving the narrative. And you were saying how they're poking him and getting him to stimulating him for a response. So he's being played without understanding he's being played. But then his reaction is dual emotional reaction and response to feed a control need. And the only way he knows how to actually feed that need is in the relationship that he's in and the dominance over the woman he's with. It's a vicious cycle. I guarantee you it's always been like that. And it was probably the same way in his household with his mom or sister, whatever female figure he was raising up. That was probably exactly what his household was like.
Yeah, I really can't argue that point too much. An assessment I can agree with. And one other factor is I think the only male figure he ever had in his life that he looks up to is his grandfather.
Yeah.
And he talks a lot about his grandfather, and I thought it was quite hilarious that, he was espousing about how his grandfather was from World War II, greatest generation. That's fine. That's all good and dandy. You're proud of your grandfather. But then he turned around and he used his grandfather's service to ride on his coattails and bash other veterans, and I was like, wow. I mean, you know, you would have had your audience if you just left it at how great you think your grandfather is, but no, you had to go and ruin it. Just like you said, a Special K, you can dress them up, but you can't take them out. They're always going to fuck it up.
You know, Thomas is bringing up a point that actually plays right into this discussion. He's saying that, first of all, it's irresponsible for him to be having unprotected sex with these women. STDs are pretty rampant here. And he can't help but to lie, though. On one stream, he told me he always wraps it. And on following streams, he says he has sex with all of them raw. And here's the thing, Thomas, with that is the irresponsibility is actually totally in line with the behavior. You know, his sense of irresponsible is a reflection of his need of dominance, that he can, you know, throw that attitude of throwing everything into the wind, right? And he's going to feel a sense of, well, it happens to everybody else, right? That's one. Two, he's going to have a sense of, you know, well, it's my decision. I'm going to make it. Okay. And, you know, as far as not that self-centered aspect, that narcissistic behavior that he has, that it's all about him and his focal point is all about him, is also going to keep him from thinking about the other people that are involved with his actions. You know, you know, every action has a reaction, and the people who are affected by that reaction, he doesn't give a shit about, because he's removed from it emotionally and psychologically. He doesn't identify with him. He identifies with himself, and that's it. So I mean, you know, and I'm going to use this again. Both of you are going to know at least 2 or 3 of those guys that no matter what, if they were on a deployment or they were going on R&R for a long time, they're going to come back with an STD.
Oh, you know, without a doubt. You know,
well, there's several factors involved with that psychology, that way of thinking, right? Number one is a lack of self-esteem. Right, and you could tell he has a lack of self-esteem in the way that where he puts his pride at. Okay. Secondly, the narcissistic aspect of his personality, or their personality. It's all about them, me. Okay, and then you know, there's actually a sense of that another aspect of that irresponsibility based on the fact that, you know, he owns it. He's so dominant in it. He owns it. He's untouchable. Nothing's going to touch him. I don't have to worry about it. It's my life. I'm going to do what I want to do. You know? So that's the same cause and effect with all those personalities that happens to. And he's a product of that same thing. He's exactly that same line, you know, and it's kind of sad in the fact that this is not something that medication is going to fix. It's not. There's only 2 ways, right, that's going to get fixed. And one of them is, you know, deep psychotherapy, and the other one has a lot to do, and you guys are going to hate that I'm going to do this. You're going to hate that, but are you ready for me to give you the other answer of how you fix that? Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Make it happen.
There it is. That's it. It's all written right in there. Okay? That's the only other way to do it. You know, I know that's not a popular opinion, but that's where it is. I mean, you guys know where I am with my faith anyway. I mean, I don't talk about it a lot, but those are the only 2 places that you're going to find any solitude, any correction, or any compass. And he's not willing to pick up the book to read it, and he's not willing to go get the help that he needs to deal with the issues that got him into the personality traits that he currently has.
Oh, see, now that you're on that subject of STDs and girls and shit like that, in his latest live stream, he was going off on how his new girl is an English teacher. She's this, she's that, and that's great. I really hope that's all true. Okay, and he don't fuck around with bar girls anymore. And well, yeah, I mean, when you're in that environment in the bar scene, whether it's in Philippines or United States, your risk of STDs goes through the roof. Okay, or as they say now, they call them STIs. Okay, it's new terminology. I don't know why they changed it.
Well, because disease is more chronic than acute, and infection is an acute thing. So sexually transmitted infection. But that's not accurate either, because some of these things have long-term effects. So
they do, and they can. Some of the effects about it, I'll speak to that right now. It's take a look at one of the most famous gangsters of the world. He died of syphilis. Okay, it went up his spine, hit his brain, and he went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Al Capone. All right, these are the effects. These are some of the effects of untreated STIs. So I hope he's telling the truth, but he's with a good girl, because I'm not sticking up for him. I wouldn't wish an STI on anybody. All right, even no matter how badly I dislike you. Okay, but his risky behavior is gonna catch up to him long before I think anybody puts him in jail or throws him out of country. It almost caught up with him weeks and weeks ago when he caught a simple pink eye. He let it go for so long, it went in both his eyes, and it looked like somebody stabbed his eyeballs with an ice pick. And
well, See, but that's also that sense of irresponsibility is, he's on a fixed income. So instead of saving enough in order to make sure, make sure that he can cover his costs and not be a burden to the freaking community that he's in, he's out there drinking it up and whoring it around. He doesn't keep the money. Buying a new laptop or an Xbox or another fifth of JD is more important than being responsible enough to ensure that you can cover your own individual health care. So he had to wait until he got paid again to get enough money to pay for the docs. I guarantee you. I mean, I don't know that for a fact, but I mean, logic can get you down that path.
Oh, your logic is on the money, dude.
Okay, can I chime in real quick?
Out of money right now. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Popeye, I got one question before I bring my thought. Do we know who Brown American Expat is?
I don't know. I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah, just leave him there. Who cares?
Okay, I wanted to bring up a point. This whole thing now, you say the school teacher thing and he improved this and that. Is this his way of deflecting and trying to get the heat off of him to his subscribers and people that watching?
The school teacher?
The English teacher.
No, that he doesn't. He's not. No. Well, why? He doesn't even have that ability to think like that. If he had that kind of ability to reason through things, he could actually reason. I don't know that he could reason himself out of fucking empty Jack Daniel bottle, man. Honestly, I mean, he's a freaking hot mess, dude. It's ridiculous. And you guys are right. It's the train wreck. Everybody is on there to watch him fail. Not everybody, but a good 80% of that viewership is on there to watch him. Oh, let's see if what Backwoods is doing today, and if Backwoods is even alive. Everybody's half expecting to hear it at some point that he's gonna be floating in some rice paddy or something. Not because somebody. going to do harm to him, but he's either going to drink himself out or get so depressed or get into a situation, an infection or something. You know, there is a lot against him.
Yeah, if anything happens to him, it'll be of his own making. I mean, I've seen guys like this. They drink. He's, from what I see, he's what I call a binge drinker. And I mean, it's rainy season. He could get so FU'd up on a bottle of Jack Daniels, walk outside, trip, fall in a puddle, and fucking drown. Okay?
Yeah.
I shit you not. It's happened to guys like this. And because the clutch is just, I'll put it simply to you, Baggill, like the clutch is not engaged in the brain housing group. Okay.
Okay. You know, and Thomas brought up another thing about last night. Backwoods was complaining, why do you women always want money, damn it, on his live stream. And it was I guess, for lack of a better term, his girlfriend was asking for money. And the thing is with the thing is with him and the concept of, you know, cultural diversity or cultural sensitivity or understanding that there's a difference in culture. He is one of those guys that is going to have one of those horror stories about how, you know, Panay are just going to want you for your money, and they only want you for whatever. Not understanding, you know, and I think I've gone through this. I'll go through it real quickly one more time, but I don't know how many times I've done it. You know, the culture here is not so much about giving a Panay money, but the Panay, because there's no social security in the Philippines, has a bit of a, you know, a family obligation, you know, that they support their family and they're at a certain point because they supported them as they were going through school. On top of that, 9 times out of 10, you know, these girls go to college, get an education, and where do they end up working? Some freaking mall, right? 6 to 7 days a week, full time. So they get involved with the Kano, and the Kano starts complaining, says, I want more time with you, and they quit their job. They were sending money back. They were doing what they were supposed to, you know, what they were doing, what they felt their obligations were. So they quit their job for you, and then the minute that they start asking you to help them, support them, or you get tired of supporting their family and them, you're gonna flip your lips. You're gonna freaking start running off at the mouth and complaining about it. Didn't give it any thought to it when the minute she was willing to give up her job to be with you and you were tapping that ass on a constant basis. But now that you're getting a little bored and the sense of responsibility is starting to get to you and it's a little burdensome, you want to go ahead and go, well, fuck this, man. This place is full of shit because all they want is money. And I don't get that. That's where I get extremely confused.
Dude, if you're going to take a Panay on, if you're going to take even American Girl on, okay, and there are American girls that, you know, you want that girl around 24/7. I'll put it in simple terminology. If you're going to play, you got to fucking pay, okay? And you got to own up and take care of what you want. You just can't treat it like shit.
Yeah. I
guess my formula worked. I've been married 10 years now.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, I happen to get along with my Filipino family very, very well. I like them a lot. I enjoy being with them. You know, I enjoy helping where I need to help, and I enjoy, you know, the interactions and stuff like that. I have no problems with it. But I also knew what I was getting into.
Yeah, I did too.
And I was willing to accept that. And you guys think that it's bad here in the Philippines? Go date a Thai chick.
Oh, yeah.
It is all about money.
I'll tell you honestly, JW, I see you and your girl and Gib and his girl on Facebook, and it's all sweet and nice and good and all that. And I say
Who's
to
this?
myself, well, you know, I say to myself, I'd like to have what like JW is doing. I'd like to have what Gib is doing. And then I wake up in a cold sweat and I say to myself, no, I don't want that responsibility again.
Man, I'm enjoying it. I love
Oh,
it.
I know you are. And see, that's just it. It's built for you. It's built for you. It's not built for everybody. And it leads me right back to, you know, Dumber, that he is not built for a relationship.
No,
And
he's not.
And I see a lot of these guys. They're out there. They're 3-time, 4-time. I've even seen 5-time losers, man. When I come back from my second tour, I met a buddy, and he was working for OPM, and at that time I was assigned to ordnance on the NAVMEG, to ordnance department, and he's like, "Yeah, guns, I love it, man, I love it." And I first thing I said to him, I said, "Dude, how's the missus?" "Oh, we got divorced, but I'm getting remarried next week. You want to come to the wedding?" And this would, I shit you not, his fourth JW. I'm like, and I didn't say anything to him because I didn't want to upset him. I didn't want to tell him he goes through women like he goes through underwear on a weekly basis. You know, I just said congratulations and had a little twinkle in my eye and smiled and shook his hand. And you know, it's like, but there are those guys out there that can't live without a woman. Whether it be American or Filipino, it really doesn't matter to me.
You know,
And
I don't mean to cut you off, and I'm sorry, before I lose this train of thought, because you're a little bit more, you know, gray matter between the ears than not me. But Thomas and John Doe bring up 2 points, all right? And Thomas hits something, I mean, literally on the nail on the head when he says that Asia has only had Western European notions of love come into the culture recently. Before that, their culture was always said romantic love is foolish. Or in the Philippines, if you talk to an older Philippine, right, or let's say an older Filipino approaches a younger Filipina, right, and the old Filipina is going to ask, "Are you involved with the foreigner? How old is he?" And she's going to say, "Oh, well, he's older. It's an older American." You know what her response is going to be? "That's practical." Okay,
yeah,
that's what relationships are. Love comes later, you know.
No.
And if you're lucky, and you're
would you
lucky,
say there's a higher divorce rate?
No,
when they come back to the States, yes.
Well, yeah, because they move out of that culture. They move out of that sense, right?
And from what I have read, it's actually
okay.
The Koreans are higher.
Okay.
In the Philippines.
Now, that being said, John Doe says do something 99% foreigners don't do. Marry a girl with an education and job, problem solved. Well, first of all, I'm going to challenge that statistic, John Doe. I think you're wrong, right? Mine's educated and is actually going to go back for a master's degree in a little bit later date. She's currently pregnant. And I know Gibbs is in school. So just because they have an education and they have a capacity for a job, if they don't need to work, why should they work? I mean, if that's an agreement, what it is, I think that's very judgmental and that's superficial in the fact that I don't think that is really the issue. If you are financially capable to come in and have a relationship that's focused on keeping a woman at home, raising a family, and you're still able to put meat on the table, why the hell do they have to work? I mean, that's
Thank you.
You know, if I'm paying the bills and I'm capable of doing it, I'd rather see her at home raising my kids than at the work. Now, that's an argument. That's an ongoing argument because mine happens to be very independent and she is an entrepreneur at heart. and she wants to go and open up some businesses in Solano, right? Which, hey, is awesome. I don't know how we're going to do that because she wants to also move and stuff like that. But I don't know. Whatever she wants to do. And I know she's going to succeed it because this woman has already opened up a restaurant and sold it and was successful. The money that she took to open the restaurant from ground zero, including the build, she was able to pay back that loan or the equivalent of that loan in less than 5 months.
Well, I got to confront John Doe too. Okay. My wife's educated, bachelor's degree. And
all right, hold on. Wait, stop. John Doe, I wasn't complaining. See, you're one of those fucktards that don't get it. You're not listening. You're judging. Stop your judging. I was not complaining. I was explaining the situation, and I even said that I embrace it and knew what I was getting into. So you're sitting there making a judgment based on what I said because you're not thinking through it. You're just putting your opinion out there. That's asinine. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. My wife was educated, okay? But being a single parent, she did what she had to do to take care of her child. So I don't mind helping out. I mean, I helped my father-in-law out. I mean, the guy's going to be 92 years old, and he's retired. So I can't see where that's coming from. I knew what I was getting into when I got married.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think you knew what you were getting into.
Yeah. Well, hey, Popeye, what about you? I mean, how no, I don't want to ask you. Never mind. Because I get it. But, I can only assume that you had the mix too. You know what I mean? You kind of understood. You obviously had a good equation because you were successful in a lot of ways in yours as well. But I think, you made a point, the failure rate of relationships going to the U.S., I think you're right. There's probably a higher rate of failure in relationships when guys are still at that beginning phase and it's still the practicality, and you're bringing a Panay back to the States, and they get into that whole, especially now with the feminist culture and movement, that I think that they embrace it a little bit more, and that causes problems in the household, personally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey, dude, bro, you got to turn your camera off. You're freaking me out with the time delay.
Hold on. I got one more thing for you. Want to make sure I get that. It's coming.
Well, I got news. Dave just brought it up. Dave brought it up. Dave brought it up. The Bayou Water Boy got a copyright strike. I assume that's who he's talking about.
Yeah, and he aired it out who it is, buddy.
I don't give a fuck.
I know, but he put it all out there, so don't act all surprised.
Ooh, yeah.
You play with fire, you get burned.
That it's pretty. It's funny.
I learned from you. You taught me.
Mm-hmm. Well, look, these I don't know. I see, like I told you, I think he's latching into the disaster zone over there with the dynamic duo.
Yeah, he's the Bizarro Eric.
Well, I don't even know that. I wouldn't even give him that.
I better be diplomatic here. No, I hold on, man. Hold on. I just got on here. You've been talking for like 8 hours or something.
No. It says 1 hour right there, dude. Don't exaggerate.
Come on. Are you lactating again?
Don't be an Eric.
Oh,
Oh,
No, hang on 1 second. This guy has done this twice now. He says that I hate people, and then he's made hate channels about me. He got a copyright strike, and he is ass bent. He's like, I appealed it. I appealed it. I appealed it. No, you know what? He's an idiot, guys. He's a fucking ass clown. I've met him in person. He's a complete moron. I won't even say what was said at the meal, but it was just absolutely ludicrous what happened. It was like meeting that guy that was on the water boy that's like, cut his fucking head off. That's what he's like.
I got a question. I have a theory on him that the reason why he reared his ugly head is that the dude's actually so lonely that he's reaching out to have some sense of community.
Oh yeah, 100%, man. That dude's bitter, angry hater. That's himself by his own personality.
Oh wow.
I'm not kidding, man. He's the most abrasive person I've ever met in my entire life. He was saying stuff on my Facebook page. People like, Dave, who the fuck is this asshole? I'm like, sorry, man, but I like you, but you're a dick. Then he started doing interviews about me during the Allo radio TV days. You remember those days when he was going after all of us?
Yeah. And then he just disappeared. And now he's rearing his ugly head.
He disappeared because I destroyed his channel. I wrecked it, man. He was literally using like straight 10 minutes of me talking without any commentary, and he'd like type some words and put in there. Plus, he threatened. He said he went to the police and all this other crap. It's all a bunch of garbage. He's done this stuff before. This is the amount of hate that this guy went to for 2 years. It's shocking that he's physically able to lift his fingers. He should be like debilitated from this kind of hate. Nobody hates like this. You guys realize that, right? That's what happens when you sit around on a computer all day long. All day and obsess about people. Can you imagine being that obsessed that you make another hate channel to do it all over and say, I know you're going to try a copyright strike me. And then when you get a copyright strike, you make a 1 minute and 30-second video complaining and crying like a little girl about it? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? You have that much estrogen running through your system that you don't like. You love criticizing and saying, I've got First Amendment rights, but you can't talk about what I say. That's the most idiotic thing that's probably ever been uttered in the history of humanity. You realize that, right? That like if that happened during biblical times, they'd probably feed you to dogs. They'd be like, I'm sorry, you're ruining the herd. We have to get rid of you. We have to call the herd. But seriously, man, this is what this guy does. Now he's upset with Eric because I don't know why did you put a copyright strike on him anyway? Was he just taking samples from you?
Well, I was being a dick. How does that sound?
Okay, but why? Why? Not because. Why? What did he take from you?
Yeah, the video he took when we were all on the other night with Johnny was on yesterday. He took that and he took the screenshots of your comments in the text, calling him the devout dunce. And
he's a devout dunce. What's he gonna do about it?
And I was just kind of half pissed off last night, and I said, "Fuck this," and I did it. Good. And Allo sent me a link, and like I'm laying in bed, and Allo sent me my link, my phone. So I said, "I gotta listen to this." So I clicked on the link, and it was him rambling on about you and me and Johnny Walker over there. And he had exactly one person listening to his live stream, and that was Allo.
He's garbage. God. This before he's got to be relevant before, and the only reason he's relevant is because haters like hate. That's why. And he goes, "You hate channel," but you're making a hate channel about the hate channel.
And like I said at the beginning of this show about him, I'm like, dude, nobody said you said anything about PTSD. He got it in his fucking mind.
Because he's a moron, Eric. He's a moron.
You said that.
No, I never said that.
Yeah. That kind of made me half pissed off. And I'm like, fuck it.
It's because he doesn't listen. He doesn't have the attention span or breadth of knowledge to listen to anything anybody says for any length of time. He just goes off half-cocked. That's why he's a failure.
Okay, well, I got a question for you. After you had your meal with him, did you want to vomit after you got up from the table?
No, man, because I'll be honest with you. When you're over here and you're alone, you don't really know anybody, any other Americans. You wanna believe that things are going to work out. I'm not gonna sit here and down the guy for the meal. The meal wasn't bad. It just was kind of uncomfortable. Yeah. And he talked shit about me during one of their videos about it, which I thought was kind of terrible. Yeah. But no, I didn't want to throw up or anything like that. I was just kind of hopeful that things would be different because, and then I tried to reach out to him a couple times to help him with his channel because he was building a channel and he was riding around on a motorcycle. I was like, hey, maybe I could rent a motorcycle and we could do like something like ADV China or something like that, only in Davao. That might work. And then we just never got around to it. And then he started acting weird and I just didn't want anything to do with it.
Well, I'm telling you honestly, my wife only lets me hang around 3 expats, and I'll name them. Graham, after she met Graham, JW, and Gib, but she had to check out their better halves.
Uh-huh.
And you, because she watched your channel and listened to you, and she knew you were a stable, married individual. Now, if it was the Odd Couple, she'd be like, fuck no.
Well, I wouldn't let those guys anywhere near my establishment, man. There's absolutely no way I'd let them near my place.
I mean, if she came into it blind and doesn't know what she knows about him now, and she would say, are you unstable? No. Bye. Don't talk to my husband. She was the same way when we were in Kuwait. So I got to give her that much. She is very protective.
Well, that's what good women are anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. I always love when people say, well, that's a Filipino phrase. That's not. It's anywhere in the world that a woman is performing her part of the relationship, that they're protective of their man.
And actually, I'll say this again. She likes Popeye and JW better than me.
Okay. Not sure why you said that out loud, but okay.
Well, no, seriously, she's got the utmost respect. She's talked to Popeye before. She's got a lot of respect for Popeye as a Kano, even though he's not in the Philippines, because after like 2 conversations, she got that he was good shit because he understood the culture. He understood the language. She understood him when he spoke, which went a long way. And with JW's family, the fact is they're all Ilocano.
Hey, you want to know? Can I tell you a story?
Go ahead.
So today, well, actually, it was yesterday. Over the weekend, I had used my debit card several times, and the chip didn't work. But it was like kind of 50-50. You know, it would work in some places and not. So yesterday, I go in and I call my bank, and I'm like, okay, I need a new debit card. And while you're at it, can you send me a new credit card? You know, I'm here in the States, so why not do that, right? But I didn't think about anything. So I woke up this morning and I'm like, oh, I got all this shit that I got to do. And I'm like, I went to go buy my plane ticket and I put my debit card in and I didn't think about it. And they canceled my debit card because a new one's coming in. So I'm like absolutely without any fucking cash for the next 2 days until my card, 2-3 days until Wednesday, Thursday. Until my card comes in. Do you know how frustrating that is?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see how smooth that was to be able to change the awkward conversation and move it in a total different direction?
It didn't really move anything.
Yeah,
I've done that before. I've done that before where I came back from Iraq and I didn't know the fucking PIN number to my ATM card. I think it's 2004. And I just spitballed it in one of those Colleen car washes and guessed the PIN number right. And I'm like, yes, I got it right. Wait a minute, what the fuck was it again?
You know, I hate to tell you this, Davey, but ominous ultimatum was put to you.
What?
You have 24 hours to shut down Riff Raff Radio. Or he will be calling the FBI, U.S. Marshals.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Hey, here's a news.
Let me finish it. Let me finish it.
Okay.
And he said, you are responsible for all that.
It's not. Here's a news flash for you. It's not even my channel. I just moderate the channel. I'm the one that puts the music on, you stupid third world redneck fuck. There. You heard me now. You hear what I think about you. The best part of you ran down your mom's leg in the trailer park. You threatened my life, and you think you're going to come after me? All they do is hear, "Oh, I'll send somebody 10,000 peso to take a hit out on Dave and his family. I'll send someone after Chris Sabu. I'll send someone after that guy up in Baguio. And then they'll go, "Oh, this asshole. Oh, we may need to investigate him." So you go right ahead and go ahead and tell the FBI. Oh my God, that's so hilarious.
I shit you not, man.
Tell whoever you want, whatever you want. You're going to look like a fucking fool, as always. You always look like one. You're just pissed off because we were getting more views than you last night, even though you had those little girls shaking their little asses. We still had the majority audience yesterday. I don't like talking about this kind of stuff, but I'm going to say it since you're threatening us again, and since you're trying to make this into some little WWE match. You're about to see the real world crash with the fake world one of these days, my friend, and you're not going to like it because it's just like with the hobo. The real world crashed into the fake world, and he's like, "Oh shit, I don't have anything. I have to leave." Same thing is going to happen to you, and I'm not going to be there to watch it because I don't care. But I'm going to tell you, last night we ruled everything. You tried to take us off the air by bringing on some girls shaking their butts and stuff like that, and you had to shut your stream down in frustration. You had nothing. We had everything, and it was just three, as you say, old guys that were talking about military stuff in the Philippines, and people liked it. Maybe we'll do it again tonight. Maybe I'll have on these same exact people tonight just to prove that it works. You know why? Because we actually question the world and we know kind of what we're talking about. We don't just sit there and drink a Red Horse and spitball. I'm not bragging, but don't try to compare yourselves to us, and then when it doesn't work out, get all butthurt and upset and talk about FBI and all this other whatever. The FBI, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to give you a little tip on the FBI. You have to go in, walk in during complaint day to your FBI branch. I know this for a fact. And you can walk up to the table and complain, and they're going to talk about cyber crimes and who you actually need to talk to. Good luck. Secondly, I did nothing. Thirdly, it's not my channel. It's someone else's channel. You can go blame me for everything like you always do. You guys always love blaming me because I'm low-hanging fruit. I'm easy because I'm public. Go try and find the real people that are doing this. You're a bunch of cowards. You realize that? You can't find the people that are doing it. That's the problem. And you know what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna make any more out of it than that. You go ahead and actually be brave and try and find those other people instead of coming at me like a big baby, because you know it's not me that's doing it. But you got to try and have a mortal enemy out there and be all dramatic and shit, and because you're a little girl. And that's not how it works. If you're taking this down, Eric, make sure that you do another copyright strike if he does this again, because he loves those. Just make sure, make it a hobby. I'm thinking about doing a couple copyright strikes on him too, because he's got a lot of stuff on me on there that borders on hate and ignorance too. By the way, his little diatribe on education was fucking moronic. I wish I could sit there and listen to the whole thing, but it actually made me sick to my stomach. The ignorance going on. Yes.
Are you talking about Bayou Water Boy? You shifted from Backwoods to Bayou Water Boy in like less than. I don't even know if you put a period in a sentence.
I don't need to. That's my shtick. I just keep going.
Hey, how much coffee did you drink today?
None.
Okay.
Wow. I'd like to see you on a half a pot of coffee.
I don't do a half a pot of coffee. I get 2 cups and that's it. You don't need. That's too much caffeine.
Why? I drink a pot a day. It's really good.
That's about where I'm at.
Really not that safe.
Hey,
that
I'm actually gonna defend Bama for a minute, or the backwoods boy.
We're just talking about coffee, man, and you blew it right out of a water.
What do you want to defend him about?
Honestly, I think in his younger years, if he would have joined the Army, a drill sergeant could have molded him into something.
I don't think so. I don't think so. This is my expertise area here. There is no way. He's untrainable because he doesn't listen. Untrainable.
So it's your expertise?
It is my expertise. My expert opinion.
And while we got you
I
on,
probably think you're right.
okay, were you in E8 when you were in Korea?
No, I was not. I was in E6, I think, at the time.
Okay, How was the divorce rate over there, Korean to American?
We were in Zone 1, so there was not technically allowed to be marriages over there. You had to get an approval from the commander and from the first line captain 03, which would be your company commander.
Okay. Because I had heard stories from guys that gotten out and that joined my unit. Hold on, the sergeant major's calling.
I really don't know why he does that. That seems so disrespectful to her.
I know. People like that can't be trained. There was a warrant that just came out of second bat, and he told me that one time. He said, "I know that you like to try and find all the good and the hope in people and stuff like that, but he said, I'm going to tell you something. Some people are untrainable." And I saw him out there smoking this young kid that was a 97B. He was a counter intel agent. He was a complete moron. I don't know how he got through the schoolhouse, how he got a TS clearance. I guess because he'd never done anything more than a shit. And the kid was just a moron. He's out there smoking the shit out of this kid in the heat in Korea, man, just making it front back, go run up to the AHA, run back from the AHA, and his little girlfriend sitting there. This is abuse. This is abuse. He says, "You want to get out there too?" Because this guy was a Cajun. This warrant was a Cajun. He was fucking hilarious, man. You breathed?
Man, hold
now
the mic away from your nose or your mouth, whichever it is, please.
No.
I'm going to report you to my ear doctor.
I've already got one.
And you do still keep doing it.
Hey, if you don't stop smoking like that, Eric, I'm going to report you to the EPA.
Trust me, my wife's up my ass on a fucking minute-by-minute basis about smoking.
Listen, young man, it's not ecologically sound to smoke. Stop it.
Oh, and by the way, the backwoods boy admitted he went down the street and went down the street corner to pay those girls to come up to get on video.
Yeah,
he failed.
No, he got him on there last night.
Yeah, he got him on there, but he failed.
Well,
he still failed.
The shield was passed out on the bed.
The second part of the greatest radio show on YouTube was passed out on the bed already at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Ooh, party. Living the high life.
I've been getting messages from a mutual friend on Facebook who's chiming in by Facebook. He's like watching the morning show. He ran. Hold on. I'll tell you what. He says J-Dub that because we all ought to.
What did you say? Repeat that?
The backwoods boy says he was not talking about you in a negative way. He says you're upset because we lied to you. And it comes back with delusional and he said, "I'm listening now. It was so good. I'm rubbing one out now."
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, God, I can't figure this shit out.
The other thing is when he goes to all these places, he goes, "Jesus, dude, back the mic away." When he goes to these places to report people and stuff like that, he won't go. Even if he even had a case, which he doesn't, because when he goes in, they're gonna be like, "Oh, your visa's expired. Get out of here."
He can't anyway because as a tourist with no connections to the Philippines whatsoever, like marriage or family, he has no standing.
He has to go after the individual that threatened him. He's a moron for thinking that he's going to do anything. It's ridiculous.
I mean, Johnny went through this. He has no standing. Johnny explained this.
We've all been through this. This is what these scammers do when they can't get their way. They try to and threaten you and all this stuff. The chair did it to me. He's like, "You have 24 hours to apologize, or else I will go to the police," and then nothing happens. And then I go to get my visa renewed, and there's a free and clear from NBI because once again you lied. This is what I'm talking about. You guys run these things and you start shit with other people to get views, and then you act like little pusses when you don't get what you want every time. You're not God or anything like that. You're just a man. And you need to act like a normal man and not be a little baby when you get it back in your face.
Oh,
Seriously.
talking about the chair. He had a fucking meltdown today.
Why? About what?
He apparently his experiences in the Philippines aren't going his way. He had to go to the one of the medical centers, and he actually had to wait more than a half hour. So
welcome to the Philippines finally there, Frankie.
Yeah, and he freaking, got on. Of course, he got on and did a video about it, about how this sucks and how the Philippine infrastructure sucks and how this is sucking, how fucking suck. It's like, whatever, dude. Go home. Go back to fucking Hawaii.
Exactly.
What sucked the most? That's what I really want to know.
I'm still not past his grocery video where he complained, I paid $6,000 for a chicken and a little bit of this and a couple pairs of shorts, and it cost me 6,000 pesos. I'm sitting here going, okay. I went to like the grocery store the next day, and my wife took pictures. For $7.5, we feed 3 people for a month, plus the people that come to visit.
Okay, but let's be fair. It's all subjective to what kind of diet you're on and what you're willing to sacrifice as to how cheap you're going to live here.
Yeah.
Okay? But here's what I find funny. I've been to these clinics before. This is what happens when you have pure capitalism in society. That's why I always like a hybrid capitalism, because if you look around you, this is pure capitalism. Unless you go into a major hospital with all the little bells and whistles, you go to these clinics and stuff like that, you're going to wait. I'll bet he didn't wait 3 hours. I'll bet he waited 30 minutes or something like that, to be honest with you. He's just exaggerating. I've waited for 30 or 40 minutes for an ENT and somebody else. And it's not uncommon.
He went outside the clinic and he was bitching about the trash and bitching about the people, and he was bitching about. I mean, the whole fucking thing was ridiculous. It was like, dude, why are you even here? Go.
Starbucks 2.0.
It sounds like the Philippines hit him in the face today.
It did, man.
In a year.
It wasn't the face. It wasn't the face, man. It kicked him in the balls. I mean, that dude was a whiny little bitch.
Well, he always has been, so it's not anything new. But I think it's funny because he's been saying, I'm going to change my channel to My Philippine Paradise. Where's your Philippine Paradise now, man? Listen, that's the reality of being here. It's what they call, in a diplomatic way, a developing nation. You're going to have all the problems there. You just have to get used to it, or like Johnny Warrior said, you need to go home. It can be frustrating at times, but you need to be honest with yourself and make allowances for these kind of things.
Well, I came from Kuwait to here, and it was culture shock. I'm like, okay, hon, who do we call to have the pizza delivered, have our Chinese food delivered? Because I was used to Kuwait. You pick up the phone in there.
That's the Middle East, yeah.
You get the little Bengali guy on the scooter coming up and delivering your food. And I can honestly say I'm not a city person. I live in a city. I actually probably live in one of the nicer cities of the Philippines. But the only hospital that I have never waited for, had any wait time at all, was the VA in Manila.
That's true. I gotta admit, he's right. I mean, no, MMG in Solano can get a little busy. But I mean, honestly, more often than not, you're not waiting for shit,
And my other 2 doctors I see here, my wife calls up, she makes an appointment, and as soon as I show up, it's in, and that's that hospital I took you to and showed you, Notre Dame. The Catholic
we weren't
hospital.
supposed to talk about that, remember?
Let's do a quick change of subject here. You guys that are coming over here, you're getting older. You're going to start having medical issues. It's going to happen. Nobody lives to 80 and doesn't have anything wrong with them. When you're coming over here, you need to look at these. Shut the fuck up. You need to look at these examples and realize that you're going to be waiting. But you need to also go check out hospitals in the States. You're going to wait any fucking where you go in the world. Go to a military hospital and go to pick up your prescriptions as a retired person. Good luck, sir. It's going to be forever.
Mhm.
Well, I don't know about any of these other guys, but I'm coming over with a bad ticker so I could collect fucking 32K.
I'm not even going there.
And
Come on, that was fucking funny, man. Laugh a little.
let me throw.
Hey, do you know how to laugh, Baggio? Laugh for me. Let me hear a
I'm actually in a good mood. I got the house to myself. So,
Well, walk around naked and do the Tom Cruise thing, slide across the floor,
yeah.
and sing "I Love
That
That."
sounds
back to the
really
hospital.
fucking gay.
Thing, guys, if you're coming over here and you're a vet and you're registered with VA, when you come here, sign up for FMP. Even if you're like going to come and visit, you got family, you're coming back from here from the States and you visit.
Yeah, dude, you just blew right up.
That's
Look,
what I was trying to tell Dave.
How about if they're not a vet? How about if they're not a vet, Baggio?
Yeah.
Catholic hospitals here are usually really good. Catholic-run hospitals.
Catholic-run
Tell me more
hospitals
about that.
here are like going to Bogota or somewhere, man, or like Nicaragua.
Not the Notre Dame up here in Baguio.
I don't know
Yeah,
about
no.
Notre
Place
Dame.
I go to.
I don't know
Yeah.
about Notre Dame. I know I've been to some Catholic hospitals and devout. Man, you'll be waiting forever.
Yeah, the Notre Dame and the Baguio is top notch. I mean, their nuclear
cool.
medicine and their laboratory pathology is like freaking like the shiznit.
Is it a university also?
Sleep lab.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
it is actually.
So it's probably got research money and stuff like that. That's
Yeah.
cool.
It's
And
got
it's
a
also Go ahead.
Shush. It's got dude, it's got Occ Health in there. Environmental
really?
and occupational health. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean it's
And they-
it's significant.
and they just opened a sleep lab.
Because when you go to San Pedro, I think it's San Pedro downtown in Davao, man. It's you get hit with what a Catholic hospital can be like. I'm not
Yeah.
bagging on the hospital, but I mean they're underfunded. They've got whatever funds come from the church and private funding and stuff like that, I'm sure. And it's just all open air, and there's the fans, and there's just crowds and crowds of people everywhere, man. It's actually kind of sad.
Well, here I found this out about Baguio. Notre Dame Hospital, the Catholic schools are co-managed between the Sisters of Immaculate Heart and a Jesuit order. They actually handle the day-to-day management and running of the hospitals.
Hmm.
So, what can I say? I mean, they expanded Notre Dame to open up that specialty building where I took Johnny to show Johnny, and he talks about that one in Subic in Barangay Barreto that takes FMP. It's like I said, if you and your wife are gonna go to the States, come back and forth, it's good to be signed up for FMP. It doesn't hurt to sign up.
Hey, Dave, that lovely FBI agent Lisa Page is now refusing to testify in front of the House and Senate.
When did that come out?
I
Because
don't think she has a choice.
yeah, just this evening she said that they were she was going to be there.
I don't think she has a choice.
I'm just watching it right now.
Oh,
I'll tell you something. They put other people in cuffs for stuff like this. She
yeah, but
could
this
very
is
easily.
this is the pro Clinton.
This
all
doesn't-
pro-
Hey, Democrats, this doesn't look good when your little ass worshiping people in the DOJ do stuff like this. I mean, it's bad enough that the DOJ can't be trusted with basic rule of law without being political. But this kind of stuff here makes you look bad. When she refuses to testify, people just assume, hey, she's covering for someone. And she probably is covering for that fucking bald spot. What's his name again?
Strzok.
Strzok. The guy that looks like he's a secret agent kind of guy, but he's not.
Oh,
Age,
wait a minute.
man.
Popeye, did you see on Fox News where the walkaway guy that started walkaway campaign got refused service
What a shocker.
in a camera shop in Manhattan?
Yeah, whatever.
Didn't catch that one.
Yeah, he got refused. Some woman went off the deep end on him and said, "I'm not blah 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 blah." And she asked him if you're the guy that said, started the walkaway campaign. He said, "Yes, I am." And next thing you know, she blah, 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 get out. I'm not selling you this stuff. Get out of my store. So, hey, I got a question since we got the 2-3 political guys. Do you think Trey Gowdy's going to join the Trump administration after he leaves Congress?
No.
I don't think Trey Gowdy's going to ride off into the sunset.
Yeah, I think he's done.
You know, Trey Gowdy is like being touted a Trump hero now, but you guys, well, not you guys, but a lot of people seem to remember or have short-term memory. That guy was not a Trump advocate at the beginning.
No,
you know,
he was not.
So I don't know why all of a sudden everybody's smoking his pole. You know,
well, I think it's because he's a good prosecutorial type person, and he's well worded, and he makes people look like fools when they come in for these hearings. He's great on fraud, waste, and abuse, and getting subpoenas and stuff like that, and making all these agencies answer up. I think that's why people love him.
He is quite entertaining to watch, man.
Oh yeah.
My mother made a comment about him. She could see maybe Trump appointing him to the federal bench.
No,
I don't think
gonna
so.
happen.
No, I don't think. I think that would actually be a bad move because he's having a hard time now with the Kavanaugh. They're not going to be able to get the guy on principle because of his constitutional views. You know, his jurist on a constitutional item. What they're going to do is they're going to try to poison it with the whole, you know, Trump crony. Trump's trying to appoint a majority so that nobody will you know, bring up charges or anything like that to him in the post investigation. So they're not.
That's laughable.
Yeah. Well, no, it is, but that's their strategy on this. This is what they're trying to do. Look, man, us sitting here talking, we can sit there and look at the ridiculousness of it, but the reality is, right now, the vocal demographic of which is progressive in the United States is buying into everything. You know, even the moderates are buying into what CNN and MSNBC is freaking putting out there. So,
did they get that idea from the Dumb and Dumber channel?
Yes.
I was about to ask the same thing. Is it kind of like Benjamin the Water Boy?
Yes.
It's that phenomenon where people believe stupid shit.
Exactly. Do it. You can do it all night long.
You're too normal. You gotta be. I buy in. I hate. Them fuckers gave me a copyright strike.
I do believe Eric just made a funny.
Yeah, I know.
I'm trying. Okay, I got marital advice on a Facebook thread from Johnny Warrior. And
oh
now,
my God, are you saying this again? You said it last night.
Yeah. Because you know
what?
You're not
going to tell us, man. Take some oxygen in, man.
You're not the one that's getting the 20 questions from his Philippine family.
Take some oxygen in, man.
You started a shitstorm.
A shitstorm.
So let me know what you're going to do with that ultimatum, whether I got a show Saturday or not. All right, I'd like to know about that, huh?
Yeah, well, when you come on my channel, apparently, it's not my channel. It's a shared channel, and you figure out what's going on, and that I'm not culpable for what he said. You retard. I mean, it's just more ridiculous. It's just bolstering shit so he can get more views. That's all it is. He knows he ain't got nothing. What's he gonna do? Email the FBI? Dear FBI, did I spell that right?
He said he was gonna Skype with his sister and have his sister take care of all of it.
She's not.
I just about wet myself. I had to go change my fucking Depends.
Hey, don't forget the cousin that's the DEA agent.
Oh my God. It's just a bunch of redneck bravado, man. That's all of this stuff is. Well, congratulations on that copyright strike. Even if it doesn't stick, I think it will. Good for you, man. These guys always lose their shit when you do that. We did it to JLB one time. He lost his mind on air. He's like, these guys went after my video. Oh, I gotta take it down. God damn it. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. So I've seen it happen before, and we did it to the chair. He got upset. We did it to Van Deaver. freaking did a 20-minute rant about my friend and how she had cancer and she was dying and she was a lesbian and all kinds of stuff.
Well, actually, go over. Did you read the comment threads from the yesterday Johnny Warrior show?
Mm-mm.
I don't know what that dude did to Mr. Tux, but I've never seen Mr. Tux use one cuss word in his life, and Mr. Tux just went postal on him in the comments. Then he went out and made a video. That's the video I flagged, the one he was talking about Mr. Tux.
Why is he upset with another guy that's just a caricature on here? Why is he worried about it? Tux is entertaining.
You gotta love the Mr. Tux, man.
I know.
Mr. Tux is some good shit.
Maybe he was jealous because Mr. Tux is more intelligent than him.
I don't know if it's really got anything to do with intelligence. It's got to do with expressing yourself properly and not getting overly emotional and shit like that. And if you can't do both.
I'll pull up what Mr. Tux said. Hold on. I'll read it. I have no problem reading it because it's fucking hilarious. Then
I didn't even know you could read.
Oh, damn.
Ooh.
Go ahead and read, Eric.
Thank God for spell check.
Oh.
Hold on, I gotta find it. Let me. Oh, here we go. Okay. Comments. Okay. He starts off with Eric and Dave. Prove where I said anything about vets faking PTSD. We never said his fucking name. Little fucking whatever he is. Mr. Tux comes back and goes, "Go fuck yourself, asshole." Then he goes, then the Bayou Order boy says, "Ha ha ha, another third grade insult. Grow up. Looks like someone needs anger management."
Oh my God.
Then Tux comes back, "Prove that you're an idiot with a small dick. You think way too much of yourself for a third grade dropout." Then oh, by the way, Focus Photoshop is Mr. Cock because he types the same way. Then he goes, wow. Sorry, I'm not into that kind of stuff. So that is a lie. You got the wrong person. Keep looking on social media. You might find the one you were with that you are describing. Then Mr. Cock goes, "Hang yourself, asshole." I'm going to flag that comment. Then,
he said, "Hang yourself." Well, that's
Mr.
classy.
Mr. Cock, whoever Mr. Cock
is. Classy.
Mr. Tux comes back with, "Don't get too butthurt now. Retarded idiots like you always believe your own shit. Stay out of this, cock boy. You're not smart enough to put on your own pants, Junior." Then he comes back, "Oh, you seems you're speaking of yourself, making third grade insults. Did you find the one where you're describing when your last comment? If I was you, I'd keep your personal life private. Are you still here, poo-poo shop? Still laughing at your own complex? Newsflash, you're the only one laughing here, so don't get butthurt now, Junior. Then go touch yourself somewhere else, poo-poo shop. Nobody here is amused by your girlish stupidities and tantrums." Oh, still with the girlish tantrums. Tis, tis, wee, wee, repeating yourself endlessly is the first sign of insanity. Go back home and cry to mommy. She'll make you feel better, poo-poo shop.
So what? I'm just curious. What spurred this most recent ultimatum? What was the impetus behind this one?
Please enlighten me.
Me? What do you mean me?
Just your existence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's not really good enough, is it? You know what I'll do if anything actually did happen, which it won't. I'll actually have to have the wife file a harassment case against me if you do that. You really don't want to do this to yourself. Just, this is your warning. You shouldn't do this kind of stuff. And then they're going to go, "Oh, Dave had to get his wife involved." Goddamn right I do. I'm not a citizen here. Which is exactly why you're not doing anything. It's a bunch of crap, man. It's a bunch of little poop flinging, and I'm just not going to play anymore.
I honestly,
that sounds like a monkey story, man. Poop
flinging? Actually, let's keep flinging shit. Actually, if your Sal was anything like mine, relentless, thorough.
Yeah.
When they get pissed off and threaten family, they go for the jugular.
Well, that's already a done deal. I'm not worried about that one. I'm going to make the suggestion to everybody again. We're going to try this again. Maybe if you don't talk about them, they don't have any material. Yeah, no, you're
Johnny's got a counterpoint.
No, man, it doesn't matter. It's not gonna. You're under the pretense that the audience that's in there has some interest in what we're doing. It doesn't matter if we talk about them or not. And so what? Who gives a flying fuck? We're gonna talk about them. You know, I mean, it's not gonna make any impact one way or the other. But it's great freaking therapy for us. It's awesome. I love it. I'm actually in a better mood now.
And actually, you and Popeye told me to get a hobby.
Yes.
Yeah, this isn't a hobby. This isn't a hobby.
Well, when it's raining outside, this is my hobby.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You got an excuse for everything. Stop smoking, Eric, and go outside once in a while. You can go outside in the rain. You won't drown, I promise you. You don't get sick from the rain. That's a myth. My wife was going, we can't take our daughter out in the rain. I said, yet we can take her swimming. Have you ever thought about how that's strange?
Eric, there's only two things that melt in the rain: shit and sugar. So, dude, figure it out.
I haven't heard that one since high school. We had a Carmelite priest that said that to a kid.
It's some oldie but goodies there, man.
I got to thank them. I mean, they kind of like gave me a quintessential emotion, you know?
Well, let's stay on it. Like Dumber and Dumber come out and say shit like, you guys are letting your motorboat mouth overrun your speed jet ass. No, actually, fuckhead, it's motorboat mouth and hummingbird ass.
I thought it was alligator mouth. Overload your hummingbird ass.
Yeah, you could go that route too. That fits. Okay. You're following the curriculum very well.
Oh, God. I mean, and is it short man syndrome with the shill?
I don't know.
Who knows? I think it's drunken master syndrome all the way around, if you ask me. We have
it'll be interesting.
silence.
No, it'll be interesting to see the dynamic over the next 3 shows, because I think the niche from the last one, right? That's going to be the norm. I think he's going to be renting girls and freaking doing the whole whatever in order to get everything.
Got to get that AdSense money up, man.
You got it, man. That's what it is.
That super chat back going. I mean,
I'm thinking about 8 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock tonight. We do another one.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
It'll probably work out for us.
Probably will.
And that's actually a good time because I'm on the road at 1 a.m. anyway.
Okay, you want to tell us a grid coordinate so they can come get you?
Actually, no. You know what? No problem.
No, I don't. No, don't be a retard, please. I'm begging you.
JW already put it out.
Don't.
JW already put it out. He already put it out.
He didn't put out a grid coordinate. I was joking around. It got quiet.
I know, because you. I mean, it made sense. It was awesome.
I'm on the road. I'm on the road tonight supporting Operation Backpack.
Okay.
Doing the big pickup. The big pickup.
Yeah.
Don't be smoking around them fucking children, you asshole.
I told him he can't be smoking around my wife. I don't want him fucking up my unborn kid.
Absolutely.
Period.
Absolutely.
You got another one on the way, bro?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I didn't know, man. I've been.
Yeah, she's 4 months pregnant, man.
How's that nursery
Congrats.
paint? How's that nursery paint job coming there, Lolo?
Dude,
I don't do nurseries. that's up to the husband. I might set up a makeshift crib that will be quite safe. When I do, spend a few hours with whether it's going to be a grandson or granddaughter. But I will be the guy that goes, here's some money. Oh, yeah, you could have that chocolate bar. Sure, you want a big gulp? No problem, man. Anything you want. That's what grandfathers do.
Yeah. Teach him to ride a bike. Teach him to drive.
Are you breaking up, man?
Don't start.
I think he's actually just kind of babbling, dude.
Oh, okay.
So yes, thank you, Graham. Graham brought up a good point. Vaping.
Mm-hmm.
Raping? No. Raping what?
No.
Okay,
raping.
This is coming from the person who said he was going to ass rape somebody last night.
Okay, but raping what?
Yeah.
Vaping. Vape.
Oh, okay.
So did you learn what sip titimo means yet?
Yes, and my wife said
I was Did she say I was bustos?
Something along that line. She used it in Ilocano, which I don't understand.
All right. Well, pick a book up. There's another hobby for you.
Actually, I'm going to order that on what was that? Tagalog.
It's not Tagalog. It's Tagalog. Pronounce the G. Good.
Are you talking about Rosetta Stone?
Yes.
Yeah. Learn a foreign language for.
Or I'll go to the bookstore. You guys gave me an idea last. I'll go to the bookstore and get some flashcards.
There you go.
No, that was Dave. Dave's got flash English and is it Tagalog, Dave?
That's Tagalog in English. Yeah, it's like numbers and shapes and stuff like that.
That's what I'm. The Asawa's down in Manila right now. I'm gonna have her go look today to see if she can pick some up.
At National Bookstore, they weren't even very expensive, and they're nice, sturdy cards too.
Sweet. That's.
I like remember, that. Dave, in day. Okay.
I hear it all the time. My kid says it to me all the time. In day. This morning we had that golden hour where she wakes up, she's all happy, and she's looking at me and she's looking at mommy and she goes, Dad, mom, and she goes, boom, 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 boom. She wants to get on a tricycle and go somewhere. I'm like, Hyundai, and she just looked at me.
Oh man, that's cool.
You broke her heart, man.
Oh man.
Little girl. Little girl goes out every day.
Hey, Jay, what size is your kid wearing now? Last time I saw him, he was in like 18-month-old.
He's like, dude, he's like the T-shirts that you see him in, and you're not gonna believe it, are 1T2 T-shirts.
Get the fuck out of here!
I'm not joking, dude.
That kid's gonna be as big as you, JW.
Oh yeah.
Weird theory that Phil Am babies, I don't know about the other countries, but the Phil Am babies are just larger for some reason.
Oh, hey.
No, I think they are, man, because, I mean, look at Oscar Mike. He's a big guy.
Oh, yeah, he is.
I've seen him in real life. Hey,
yeah, he is.
Hey, Johnny, Graham asked a question. Are we going to be on for Thanksgiving up here in the mountains or Solano?
Yeah. I actually think Graham wants to, there's some place that he wants to do Thanksgiving in Solano.
Well,
if I remember it right.
I mean, the only people that's down for Thanksgiving, if you don't mind, is me and my wife. And I'll probably bring my father-in-law.
Yeah. No, hell yeah. We'll just do a big, because, I mean, the whole family is in Solano, and then we'll probably bring in part of the family from right outside of Santiago, because they actually do most of the cooking. And, yeah, we'll do a big old thingy. Because you're welcome to come too if you're still here, Dave.
Okay, cool.
Because I can grab the turkeys while they have them and stick them in the freezer.
Oh yeah.
And
don't get the frozen turkeys. Get the ones that they raise here. They're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get the local ones. They're just as good. Actually, the local ones that I just got were two. They were a little bit lighter than one of the ones that we have from the States that they sell here, or from England or wherever they get them from. And they're cheaper, and there's just as much meat on them. They're really good.
Well, actually, with Johnny's family, I could get them on the hoof, and they'd be fresh that day.
Yeah, I just ask Papa. Papa go get them. And he's got a good point. There's a couple people running turkeys right now, so.
And also, I can pick up the cranberry sauce and the pumpkin pie fixings and everything. SNR.
What's odd is there's a portion of the population of our viewership right now wondering, okay, it's July, so why are they talking about plans for Thanksgiving now for November? They don't realize that Christmas starts next month.
Yeah. We're going to SM. And they're singing on the karaoke machine. Now, actually, the audience, Graham brought it up because he's coming over.
Yeah, I know, man. I was just
so yeah, and it just clicked in my mind. But yeah, we can do that. And actually, that brought up another point. When you come back and you get over to Baguio, I'm going to take you to the Igorot restaurant.
Okay.
That's all the native meat, the native pig, turkey, chicken.
Are you paying Baguio?
Is that the one that's on the hill outside of the SML where the steps are?
No, it's over by Victory Liner. You can walk right around the corner from the terminal, and it's right there.
Because the one with the big statue, Igorot statue in front of it. And it's native cuisine, Philippine native cuisine.
Yeah, but this is more Ibaloi Igorot cuisine.
Okay.
Oh, look, we mentioned his name. He shows up. Mr. Tux.
Yeah. Freaking Ed blocked me last night. He freaking blocked my ass on. I think he was picking on me. Is what it was. Mm-hmm. He was just messing around. But like, what the fuck? It was pretty awesome. It was awesomeness.
And you were already pissed off, so he just tweaked you more.
Yeah, I know, man. I was pretty all right.
Yeah, so Thanksgiving's good, but I'll cook the sauerkraut. My wife will make sauerkraut.
You don't cook sauerkraut. You ferment it.
She's gonna take care of it, dude.
Oh, okay.
Translation: she's gonna open a jar.
Okay. Because if you're gonna make sauerkraut, it's just all it is caraway seed, garlic, shredded freaking cabbage, and you let it ferment in a crock with the weight on it. And I used to make it all the time at the house.
Or instead of sauerkraut, I'll bring kimchi.
See, Kimmy needs to make the kimchi. My sister-in-law, Kimberly, she makes a damn good kimchi, bro.
Okay, no duck. I will not do duck because I've already eaten duck here, and it was like eating a fucking tire.
That just needs to be. It just needs to be cooked right. But do you know what the 5-spice duck is? Do you know what I'm talking about with the 5-spice duck?
Yeah.
That it's got cinnamon and cardamom and all that stuff on it. And it's got that, I don't know, it's some 5-spice oriental stuff that they put on it. I love that stuff. I absolutely love that duck.
And actually, does a turkey fryer need to be stainless steel?
Yeah.
Okay. No, it doesn't. What do you mean? What part of it?
Well, it can't be aluminum.
Yeah, it can. The pots are always aluminum.
Oh, I've never had an aluminum pot. I think I've had steel or stainless steel.
No, I have an aluminum pot back in my garage or my storage in San Antonio. That's what they usually are. Is some sort of cast aluminum.
Well, talk to Dave.
Why? I wouldn't. I'm going to tell you something. I almost did that last year. You can ask the guys that came over, and I pussed out at the last minute. And here's why: I don't know the integrity of some of these pots that you buy in these stores. I would be very careful about the burner you're using, one, because everything's Chinese made here, and two, the pot that you're using when you're boiling or heating that much oil to 300 degrees. It's just too dangerous, man. I'd rather just bake the turkey. There are plenty of places around here that do a good baked turkey, and there's plenty of good cooks around here. Last year we went to Swiss Deli and bought the turkey with all the trimmings and everything for 4,000. I think it's 4,000 pesos even. Told them what time we were picking it up, and they had it all ready for us.
I was thinking there's a couple metal fab shops right here by me. I was going to check it out to see if they can make one.
Why don't you do the smart thing and have somebody send you a turkey fryer, like maybe your mother, by Malik Beyond?
Yeah, that would be the way to do it.
Yeah,
I'll ask her.
Honestly, because they're so cheap now. Well, I say that figuratively.
Yeah, they are cheap. They are cheap.
And you know the Bayou ones. What is it called? Bayou King or whatever it is. They're usually the best brand, and they're pretty inexpensive now. They're like $80, I think, for the hanger, the basket, the pot, and the burner itself. It's all under $100.
I'm looking on Amazon right now.
Okay.
30 quart with the stove burner stand is. Hold on, I gotta click the ship to the Philippines button. Hold on.
Oh yeah, well that'll be about $400.
Exactly.
No, because I'm Amazon Prime.
That doesn't matter.
Hold on, I can tell you right now.
Okay.
6-piece set. $125.
Oh, I'd do it if you know for a fact with shipping, because remember they also hold the tax coming in,
and then they refund it to you.
If that's $120, dude, that's fucking badass. But I bet you it's not coming out of the U.S., Dave. I bet you $10 it's coming out of a Chinese vendor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it says here sold by Amazon Services Inc.
Yeah, but that could be anywhere in the world.
Yeah,
it's a King cooker, outdoor deep frying boiling package with 2 aluminum pots.
Yeah, I if it's $100 and whatever bucks, actually, send me the link to that and I'll buy one, because I've been wanting one, and I'll buy one and send one there. Because for that kind of price, I mean, I was trying to send something stupid, probably like an anal plug set and vibrators or something like that, and it was like something outrageous, like $350.
You're starting to talk like you scare me. You're scaring me. You're starting to sound like Aloe. You need a hug.
Oh, dude, come on. The fuck? So, what is your top? What's the topic on the show on 8:30?
I don't know. What do you want?
Do you want to go political, or do you want to go like lifestyles, or do you want to just go total gay?
Hybridation. We could do all three.
Okay. All right.
Because that's really what holds people, is when you kind of transition between things back and forth and go back to certain things.
Well, what I'll do is, because I can't go anywhere until my fucking card comes, so I'll sit down with the notebook and I'm just gonna. I'll scan through MSNBC, CNN, and freaking Fox, and we'll talk to politics on both sides of what they're talking. You know what I mean? That'd be cool. And then lifestyles.
Great.
The condom, the ribbed.
We should talk about wait times at clinics.
Yes.
Wait times at clinics, and get really mad and irate.
Yes.
Hey, Dave, you might want to call the VA now, before you like a month out, to see if they have any openings.
Yeah, they have automated appointments.
Mm-hmm. How about we also talk about the perils of barebacking it?
On a live
You want me to
stream.
bring pictures? I'll show you what lymphogranuloma venereum looks like.
Oh,
Somebody else
Let me
get pregnant again? Is that what the problem is?
You weren't.
No, one of the viewers, Thomas, was talking about the irresponsibility of backwoods and barebacking things, and how the dude doesn't even consider he's throwing his meat and all this shit, the STDs he could be transmitting, and so we kind of analyzed that a little bit in his personality as far as how that irresponsibility is not only just narcissism, but he has no self-esteem, etc. So
clearly.
I don't know who that Thomas guy is, but he has he makes some damn good points.
Yeah. Did they sell albuterol here?
You can get it at the VA, I think.
Oh, I mean, like locally, I'm not going to be to the VA until next month.
Did you try?
Why are you?
Not Watson's. What's the other one? Mercury. Have you tried the Mercury?
I'll try Mercury.
Okay,
God,
but
they still
here's
got
the problem with
Mercury
that.
drug.
Yes.
Are they going to require a prescription on that? Because albuterol is still more or less in the.
Well, I'll go to pulmonary first and talk to them and
Okay.
explain the situation. I won't just go off half cocked to a pharmacy. You can't do that here. In the UAE, you could go get any freaking drug except for narcotics. You could go get anything over the counter.
Yeah, up until I want to say when I first came to Bohol, and I bought anything you wanted except, like you said, narcotics, and but then they put a new regulation regulating everything and classifying a lot of psychotropics, and it needed to have a psychiatrist, a full psychiatrist, sign off on the prescription of psychotropics. So you can't just go to a general practitioner and get a prescription. You have to go actually see a psychiatrist.
You would think, though, that a psychologist with a psychology with a I don't know what they call it. I know my aunt is one that she has some sort of a medical doctor classification, so she can prescribe medication. You would think they would be qualified to do it too, right?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what their classifications are in Philippines. I know in general practice, psychologists are relegated to therapy, and the psychiatrist is more on the pathology of mental illness, and they're the ones that do the prescriptions. But I do recall that there is if she's let's say she's what is it called? Those RNs that are, damn it, they're not PAs. It's above a PA, but it's an R. Well, if she's a PA and a psychologist, she can issue. And then there's a RN, a registered nurse with the master's, and I can't remember the name of the RN that they can also issue drugs too.
Nurse practitioner.
That's it, nurse practitioner. They can do prescriptions.
But
So-
not for psychotropic drugs, right?
In the U.S. they can. If she's a psychologist and
Oh, a
she's a nurse,
psychologist. Okay.
if she's a psychologist with like a nurse practitioner or a PA or something like that, they can prescribe drugs. In the U.S., it is psychiatrist in general. It's a psychiatrist that's going to issue you your psychotropic drugs. A general practitioner can do it, but they usually don't want the liability and want to deal with it. So they're going to always consult to a psychiatrist. And then the psychiatrist will consult to a psychologist where you're going to get your therapy,
And they're all going to get their money.
Yeah, they're going to all get their money.
Well, I noticed something here that's not like in the States, that mental health is like an additional specialty over top of their normal.
No, it's like that in the States too.
Oh, it is? Okay, because like I said,
Because a psychiatrist is an MD, but it's specialized in psychiatric care, the pathology of psychiatric care.
okay, because like the one I see now, she's my neurologist and mental health.
Okay. Yeah,
She
because
double-
neurology, that is where psychiatric care goes into, is the science of neurology.
Because she actually works out pretty good because then I only have, she's the head of neurology and she's freaking awesome. Unlike that other dumb ass clown I had to see the first time.
Cruz misses you.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You just like him because you're smarter than him.
Yeah, Graham wants to know if on the show tomorrow if there's going to be girls dancing, and I don't think there will, but Graham, just for you, we'll slap a couple of pasties on JW, and we'll have them troll them for you if that
There
makes
you go.
happy.
Eric in a thong and me with pasties. It'll be great.
Huh?
Yeah, well, JW's got the succulent supples.
Supple nipples, man. Succulent supple nipples.
Well, oh yeah, by the way, Backwoods, I'm going to send you a case of Man Ponds. I got a care package for him. Man Ponds, some chewing gum, and some string.
All right, Eric, I gotta boost out of here, brother.
You got to change your Depends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's fucking 12 o'clock at night here, and I'm going to go to bed, dude. So I can get up and watch TV and watch the news for tomorrow's show.
Yeah.
I got
Fucking
stuff
1
to
a.m.
do.
here.
I got shit to do too, so.
All right, you guys be cool. I'll catch you on the flip side. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, and pick the corn out of my shit and eat it.
I'm just going to say peace out later.
Later. Dave gets the final word. Oh, he's gone.